Michael Hayden, thank you very much indeed. Now the second voice for the motion, Domitila Sacromoso, who is a top expert on conflict and security in Russia and Eurasia, and also on Russia's relations with NATO and the European Union. Lecturer in Security and Development at the Department of War Studies at King's College here in London. Domitila, the floor is yours.
Why? Why is it good to bring in Russia from the cold? Because good and positive relations with Russia are indispensable for European security. Because at a time of heightened challenges such as terrorism, Brexit, massive migrations, climate change, we need Russia as our partner. Because contrary to what many might think, Russia is a part of Europe. Also because European security cannot be built at the expense of Russia. Because contrary to what is often said, the West did not single-handedly defeat Russia in the Cold War. Together with the West, this Russia, which was part of the USSR, brought an end to the Cold War without shedding any blood. And it was the Russia under President Yeltsin which withdrew all its troops from Eastern Europe and last but not least, peacefully dismantled the USSR and thereafter engaged in a very tortuous, difficult road towards democracy, human rights and a market economy. With a very difficult environment, with very limited resources and with hardly a history of democracy to look back. But it showed that totalitarianism was not in the Russian DNA, and it is not in the Russian DNA today. At the time when the USSR collapsed, the West had an option to engage with Russia or isolate Russia. We continued to enlarge NATO, which is a military alliance very close to Russia's borders. We abandoned the ABM Treaty, which is a pillar of European and global security. We began slowly building strategic and defense missiles systems in Europe, not far from Russia's borders. We went all the way to promising NATO membership to countries such as Ukraine, with whom Russia had very close ties, both culturally, in human level, on the economic level, and historically, and also with Georgia, which is located along Russia's most sensitive borders in the North Caucasus. Imagine for a moment how the United States would feel if it faced an Islamist insurgency in Texas, the enlargement of a hostile alliance, not only in Central America and in Mexico, but potentially in Canada. That was the predicament that Russia faced. This is not a debate about Vladimir Putin and his actions, whether they're right or wrong. It is about what the West can do to make sure that we address the problems of European security jointly. What does that mean? It means engaging in a meaningful dialogue on the architecture of Europe, involving all countries from the Urals across the Atlantic in a dialogue that could result in an agreement that would be binding on all. It means establishing confidence-building measures along NATO's borders with Russia to help reduce the tensions and create an area where we avoid the outbreak of an accidental war. This can be a certain possibility. Ladies and gentlemen, Russia has been a positive partner to the US in the war against terrorism. It has shared crucial intelligence with the United States and with the West on terrorist suspects. It has helped us in the war against Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. It is our partner in climate change negotiations. It has worked with us on the very thorny issue of Iranian nuclear power. It has agreed to reduce its strategic nuclear forces when cooperation was possible. It reduced many of its troops from Kaliningrad when we decided not to deploy our theater missile defense in Europe. It has shown goodwill when we have shown goodwill. It is very important, again, that we build a security that includes Russia. And as Secretary of Defense James Schlesinger noted, Any common security order that excludes Russia would carry with it the seeds of its own destruction.
The second remarks there for the motion, Domitila Segromoso, thank you. Now let's move to the second voice against the motion from Warsaw, Radek Sikorski, Poland's foreign minister from 2007 to 2014 and previously defense minister from 2005 to 2007, a key architect of the European Union's foreign and security policy. Ladies and gentlemen, Radek Sikorski.
The motion says it's time to bring Russia in from the cold. Rapprochement is in the West's best interest. Let's start with from the cold. Yes, I think Russia is in the cold. But is it our fault? I put to you that when the Soviet Union collapsed, we did our utmost to bring Russia in, to make Russia feel comfortable, to join our institutions.